This is Andrew. I'm 52 years old, and after 25 years of marriage, I'm divorced. There wasn't a dramatic ending. We grew apart slowly, became more like roommates, and eventually agreed this wasn't working anymore. The decision made sense on paper. What I didn't expect was how empty everything would feel afterwards. For decades, my identity was tied to being a husband and a dad. Now the house is quiet in a way that feels wrong. I make dinner for one. I go to bed without talking to anyone. I catch myself doing things out of habit, like buying groceries she used to like. People keep telling me this is a chance to start over, to rediscover myself. I don't know where to begin. I don't hate my ex. I don't even regret the divorce. I just don't recognize the version of myself that's left behind. I feel like I skipped the part of life where you learn who you are on your own. Now, I'm supposed to figure it out in my 50s, with fewer friends, less energy, and a lot more quiet. My question is, how do you rebuild an identity when the one you lived in for most of your life is suddenly gone? In some respects with this problem, I feel like life has dealt you a hand here to give you exactly what you needed. Now, it depends what your belief on life is, but my belief with life is you are meant to experience different things in this lifetime. And whether it's true or not, I believe before you come to this world and before you're born, you have set sort of things to experience. And I believe in past lives, and if you don't figure it out in that life, you go again and you try again. That's my belief. Now, there's no way of knowing if it's right or wrong, but the way I see this situation, if it was happening to me, I would try and see it as, well, this is now the time to really live life for me. Really figure out who I am. And like you've said, you've not had to, really. Your life has been the same for a long time. And life's saying, maybe we need to change that. It's a bit wishy-washy, but to me there's this feeling about life that some things are purposeful, whether we make it that or not. But it feels like things happen for a reason. And the reason you've got to find out for this situation. Because, like I say with anything and everything, you've got to find the value in what's currently happening. I mean, in a sense, you're lucky that you haven't got this toxic divorce, and all you got to do is figure out yourself. And absolutely, it's going to be hard. It's going to be lonely. And it sounds like you haven't experienced loneliness before. You haven't experienced what I think most people experience at the start of life. And this is now just your next problem that you've got to attack. And when it comes to problems, I always look at it and think, no matter how daunting this is, no matter how scared, how uncomfortable you are here, think about past problems in your life. Think about moments in your life that when they came, you had the similar feeling. But now when you look back at them, who did it make you? Who have you become because of it? And that's all this is going to do. This is just going to make you a different person. Some would say maybe a better person. I would say a better person. You're going to have more experience in life because life is there to be lived. And we do get comfortable. If this happened to me, my world would tip upside down. I wouldn't know what to think. I'd be like, fuck, I don't want to do this. I want to go back to the life that I had. And it's the things that make us scared that are the things that we have to do, because it develops us that much in life and we get more of an understanding in life. We live life a bit deeper the more problems that we overcome, the more uncomfortable situations we get exposed to. We really feel life, and you've got to feel life for its beauties and for its hardship. They're both just as valuable to us. And, don't forget the 25 years of experiences that you've had, of joy, of sadness, of overcoming, of figuring things out together. You haven't give more details, so I don't know what the state of your relationship was, but obviously it wasn't working out because you become divorced. And this is the time to like people are saying, to find yourself, because you've got to know who you are to be in a relationship. And just because you're at the age that you're at doesn't mean you don't have to make friends anymore. Doesn't mean you don't have to socialize anymore and to find new loves, passions, hobbies, just people to be around. Maybe you've got a bit too lazy in life. You've secluded yourself to just you and another person, or you and just your family. And maybe it's time to see all the benefits that you can get from opening up, from stepping outside your shell at this age. And the thing is, the people that you meet at your age that have to do the same will be just going through a similar experience as you, which in a sense, you're kind of lucky at this age, because the people that you meet that you're going to relate to, you're going to relate a lot more. Also, it's going to be easier. It's going to be easier than when you're young, because when we're young, we're fickle. We don't see the value. We miss things. We don't see the value of friends as much as when you're older and you've not got any. Like right now, you're going to make some friends so you're not lonely. And you're going to see the extreme value when you do make those friends. When you do step out, because it's going to be so hard, the reward is going to be bigger than someone at my age. At my age, I don't feel like I need to make friends. I don't need to be around people. I see the value in it, don't get me wrong, but I don't feel like I need it in a sense. When I say need it, it's not this desperation of need. It's this need because I see the value it gives me. Most of us make our friends when we're young and then we just keep them for a long time. Could you imagine being at this age and making friends? Those relationships that you build are going to be so different than the relationships that you build at my age. Like I said, we're fickle. When I think of someone who's lived almost double the life that I've lived, the experience you must have in life, the maturity you probably have, to meet other people who want to meet other people like that, that's exciting. Either at my age or younger, when they're trying to find friends or trying to find relationships, people to be around, you don't even know who you are. You don't know. You haven't done anything. Most people don't have things to talk about. You're a bit lost in the world. Somehow we make friends even though we're lost, even though we've not got directions, even though there's no trust in each other, because we're all young and we know that we're emotional. We know that we're immature. We know that we're going to do things wrong. And not to say that's not going to happen when you're older, but you've got more experience. You've lived life. That's why I would say it's exciting, because the people you're going to speak to now, they've got a lot to say. They've talked. They've been through things. And this is really an opportunity to be you. And you might not know who you are. You might think they're pathetic, or you might think they're not good enough, or you might think they're too dependent. And life's throwing you a hand now where you gain independency. Which is weird to say at the age that you're talking about. But because you're more mature, because you've experienced more, you can now sit and really think about what's happening. Really see what's happening with you, using your experience that you've had in life. And in a sense, you're kind of living life again. Which can be taken as good or bad, but you've almost got a second life here. And because you've lived, let's say, your first life up until now, you've got the experience, or you should have the experience, to know what you want, to know what you like, to know what you love, your comforts. You can now build with patience a perfect life. Because when we're young, we're desperate. We don't truly know what we want. We just pick up the first thing that comes to us, or people settle, or people panic a bit when you're young, because you don't know, you haven't experienced life enough. You don't know the rules of life. You don't see what life's about. So for people that pick things early, pick the lives early that they live in, they grow up and they do start to regret things. You've done all that. And now is your chance to really get the life that you want. And now's the time to learn more, to step out your comfort zone more, and to really do things that you never thought you'd do it again. And that feeling once you've been in a relationship for so long and your life has changed so much because, let's be honest, you've been a dad, you've been a husband, you've not just been you. Life takes you to a place of responsibility. And the reason I say that is because I'm young, but I can see myself being taken with the tide to these areas of responsibility and almost slowly thinking about myself less and thinking about the future. Your houses, your children, your marriage. You've got a lot of other people to think about, and I'm moving away from just thinking about myself. And you've lived long enough in the zone of responsibility, in the zone of thinking of others, that now it's time to think back to yourself. That's why it should feel like a new life, a second life. And this time, for the things that you can do things right. You don't have to make the same mistakes that you made. You can if you want to, if you've not learnt that and you want to feel them again. But I think a lot of us dream of this perfect life. We have this expectation, we have this idea of how our life's going to go. And whether it's a bigger picture thing or someone else is in control of life, whatever your belief is, I think the perfect life doesn't happen in the moment. You can't plan the life that you're going to have. Life is going to throw things at you. Life's going to change things, turn things upside down. That's the nature of it. Whether you believe there's a power doing it, it doesn't matter. How life is set up, that happens. And I think right now it's the shock that life isn't going perfectly. Life isn't going how you planned. Life isn't going how you wanted it. And if we had to plan our lives, if we had to choose how we had to live, it'd be so boring. It'd be so wrong. We wouldn't experience things because we stay in our little cave and we wouldn't walk out. Because the world's scary, because the world's uncomfortable. And life's forcing you and forcing us to get out there and to experience it. And to get over things. To go through pain and struggle. To come out the other side better, at peace, more understanding about life, more relatable, connecting more. This is your opportunity to connect more, to really open yourself up and be vulnerable. To really be someone that's not you at the moment. To really change your life. And you have to have people around you to support you, to anchor you, to help you out here. Because this is a lot. And if you don't have people around you to talk to get these things off your chest, you're going to do it alone. And you don't need to do it alone. And you shouldn't do it alone. And that's your priority here. You've really got to find other people. Explore hobbies. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Everyone knows it's not easy to put yourself out there. But what do you want to do? Why do you want to keep living? Find that out. Why do you want to keep living? What are things you've always wanted to do? Let's try and explore it and be patient with yourself. Even though you are older, you've still got time. And you still got to be patient. How's your health? Have you been distracted with the first life that you've lived, that now this second life is time to focus on other things? Focus on friendships, focusing on finding who you are, being insecure, being scared, getting healthy. Is this now the time where you delve into the meaning of life, where you figure out what the fuck's going on? When you delve into things that you've never thought of before, you go past that you haven't imagined. You've got, in a sense, you've got freedom. Freedom that you didn't want, but still freedom. I say enjoy it, because once you've got through this, you can look back and maybe, all in all, your life has improved. I think sometimes you've got to think, when bad things happen to you, when the struggle comes, maybe look at it and say, maybe this isn't the worst thing for me. Maybe it's the best thing that could have happened to me. Because now's the time where life's forcing me to get what I want, what I truly want. Because sometimes we, like I said, we stay in a little bubble, we stay in our cave and we don't push ourselves. We don't step out unless something forces us to step out. And a little push forward is helpful. And I wonder if that's what's happening here. But yeah, good luck with that one. Peace.